Thousands of Ugandans have been displaced from their homes after heavy rains hit the East African country. Reports say the overflow of two rivers in the region exacerbated the situation, causing buildings to submerge. A major hospital in Western Kasisi had partly been submerged, according to the reports.
We're just at home as usual, having fun. Then Mom had gone for a workshop in Ginger. After some time, water started entering the house, but then we didn't mind because it's something small. We got some put it down, but then the next morning it was all wet. So we just got scared. Put our things, went to the nearest primary school where the floods victims were camping. That's why also kept. Then Mom came and found us there. In just few days, the house went down.
Completely.
Completely. The district planner came and told us we are going to a new place. We really thought they are giving us a new home. But then on reaching here, it was bushy. Like, I was like, what's this? We just cleared a small portion. Actually, we started with that part. So we built a small tent, started staying there with Mom. By the time we came here, Mom was sick. Like, she was unable to work. So it would be me to pay off the foodstuffs, health, Mom, water, everything. Here I have to go to the garden, work, and working for just 5,000.
How old are you now?
I'm 16.
And how old were you by then?
I was actually 12.
You created a tent somewhere where you were showing us, and how many of you were living in that place?
Actually, we're almost 7 in one. That's why the goats would sleep, that people started getting sick. Like those ticks started going even on the kids' bodies. Because we'd share the room with the animals, us, the utensils, like everything. Actually, when we came here, I felt like all my dreams are shattered.
Mostly there are two major episodes of floods. The first ones happened in around 2010. So these floods, actually, when they came in, I just brought a lot of silt into the hospital and actually had to do the silting. People had to keep on, so resume the services in the old site. When the other floods which came in, after 2 years, I had to sweep the whole hospital, including the staff quarters and part of the hospital houses. To me, the cause of the flood was mostly about changes in climate, mostly to do with our mountains. So we had a lot of glaciers around. The river comes from the mountains. So when a change of environment, a change of climate, enough glaciers melting and giving us a lot of water, which can fill the river and give us these floods we are having in that case.
Ekitukosa ku mbeera y'obudde ge mazzi okutuyingirira era n'eyo ennyumba egyo emizigo gyali mizigo nga gitunudde eno ennyumba eyo baagikyusa olw'omwala guno nga buli lwe gubimba bwe guti guyiika mu nnyumba munda kati emiryango ne bagitunuza eri bo ne babeera kale nga bawonye ku mazzi naye kati ffe abasayidi eno tuba tetulina ngeri ki gye tuyinza kukola ki kubeera nti tukyusa emiryango ne tugirabya eri eno ne wabeere mmanju. Tewali muntu alina ssente zisenguka kugenda mu kitundu kirala olw'ensonga tuli baavu tetulina ssente era ekitubeeza wano eno ensonga y'amayumba nti essente ki ntono. So senga babeera batukoledde egundi embeera ennungi tuba tusobola okubeerawokko ate wano eno we tuva ne tugenda ne tukola ki ne tuyiiya akasente ne tuweerera abaana ne tubeera nga tufuna n'ekyokulya. Babeere nga batuleetera oba emmotoka n'amayinja agasobola okuzimba omwala n'oluzzi luno ne balutereeza omwala ogutambuza amazzi ne gaba nga gatambula bulungi. Tuba tusobola okuwangaalira wano ne tulererawo n'abaana baffe bulungi nga tebalina ndwadde zibaluma. Naye endwadde zibalumba ng'ekiddukano oba omusujja olw'okuba nti obukyafu buva emmanga ne bwambuka waggulu omwala mukyafu ne bubeera nti buyingira mu mayumba gaffe ng'enkuba etonnye. Amazzi ne gajjula mu nnyumba tugenda okuyoola tuyoola bukyafu tugenda okulaba ng'abaana baffe balwadde ebiddukano.
My life was good. Had a home. I had a job. My children were going to school. My children were sleeping well. They didn't have any challenge. But before the floods, when it was COVID came in. After the COVID, when the COVID entered in, and then the floods. That's the beginning of our life, family life. But for sure, the camp life is very bad. You come and stay with the people that you don't know the upbringing of these communities where they came from. Staying with people with different behaviors, others are drunkard, but I have to persevere. Sometimes people will fight, you wake up in the night, you go, you have your own stress, you go there to counsel them. When you check, when they talk, they say they have bought a land. But then the land they are talking about, you find that that land has issues. Why do government go and buy a land that has conflicts? Then after having issues, the people who are staying, the squatters, let me say that I call them squatters, those who are squatting on that land, they also say that if they bring you here, we are going to cut you into pieces because this is our land.
Wamanyira environment. Wamanyira environment. Anyway, how about to be a meat? Why do we plant trees? Omusana, kuswekera omusana. Owakimanyi mu Luzungu? Sunshine. To cover the sunshine. Yes? Mumtera lineti mungaro. Oh, and amanyira what to be a remit. You. To get clouds. Yes, mutera mungaro. I have a question. When you grow up, what do you want to be? Yes? Doctor.
Having spoken to the internally displaced children here in Kasese and hearing their dreams, they want to become lawyers, they want to become doctors. Disaster displacement are not taken seriously. There are no solutions, no enough funding and resources to address these challenges. So when we have decision makers at COP in different aspects, making decisions that do not change the lives of these people, it breaks my heart. We cannot talk about climate change without talking about human mobility. Without really coming here to address the root causes of vulnerability, the root causes of poverty, the root causes of exposure to climate change, then there's nothing that we're doing.
Biggest challenge has been the resources, the coming in of resources, and sometimes some bit of bureaucracy within the government, where you have to take several steps.
I beg the office of the Prime Minister should rethink and think what she promised here. For us as people in the IDP, we are expecting that if they are planning, let us be part and parcel of their planning, because we also have some issues that we can also put in place.
And then for what can be done to prevent these changes, these effects of the river, just think of managing the river in a way that can keep the water within the channels. Mostly to do with the management of the river, maybe the sites, most of which they can plant trees. My personal view on these things, I think government can think of the people who are in the mountains, because they can't access sanitation way back in town itself to improve the services we are offering here to another level. Mostly for people who are living in the mountains who can't access services from way down in Kasese town. Maybe you have to invest in more money on the services, mostly to do with improving services to another level, or to the former level hospital was on, and then to work on the river continuously, that we don't have any more floods coming. Because the people who are here to stay, not going anywhere, so they need the services, and the river also needs to get a way of living with the river, and also for staying and getting the services from the hospitals.
If you had to tell President, the UN, any decision maker, what are the things that you'd want them to intervene in?
One, they should intervene in mitigation of climate change. They can at least bring their hands-on activities. Actually, we even have girls in camp who have gone for early marriages just to provide for their families.
Is there any organization you've seen around here doing that?
An organization like Hawaii Climate Action Network, they came here and trained us. So we made soap for some good months and started selling off and getting some money. But then later, due to the funds weren't enough, so it all stopped at that.
What inspired us to work on this project here in the camp, the Mocha IDP Camp Livelihood Project, is because of the preliminary work that we did when these people were first displaced by floods that occurred in Kanyange due to outburst of River Nyamwamba. The people stressed their needs. They were only depending on food items from the government, which are very unreliable. Comes in a period of 6 months' time, or sort of more than that period. And things to do with abject poverty. I mean, people here lost their livelihoods and they don't have income-generating activities. We came up with 3 initiatives that has to do with the school program that is looking at children education, the economic empowerment program that is looking to skill the people in this camp with new skills to help them generate income and earn a living, but also with the farming initiative that is supporting IDPs in this camp to rent land and grow their own food such that they are able to feed their households. So what they need now is the raw materials to start out their own ventures. So we needed them to have another skill set to add on what they know, what they have already in farming. They need more streams of revenue as compared to only relying on farming, which is even hard now because for them they don't have land. So the other component is soap making. We were lucky to train also members in this camp how to do liquid and bar soap. And this working group is progressing well. People are producing soap and they're selling it and earning a living from it. But also these initiatives are looking at how they can improve the general situation in the camp. When you look around, the hygiene is not good. But if people here are producing soap, it is sold at a very low cost than the factory soap. And for the past 5 years, we've been advocating, calling government to make sure that they resettle these people in a permanent settlement.
We are in touch with the Prime Minister's office, and especially we are looking at those in the Mohocha camp. Those ones I know within the shortest time we shall be having a solution for them. And we have every hope that we are going to have a solution for those displaced people in the Mohocha camp. We are trying to protect the river banks by planting bamboo and prevent the washing away of the soil, especially on these big rivers, Nyamwamba and Nyamgasana, and those big rivers. Through the Department of Environment, we are not seated, we are definitely planning, but I know how painful it is, but we can't do much. We have to ask them to become a little more patient.
So as the African Union and IOM Youth Migration Ambassador, with support from different organizations such as IOM, we're doing farming, climate smart farming with the IDPs here. We are doing trainings on tailoring as well as making soap so that people here can make a livelihood.
So it's very important to remember that addressing climate mobility, the potential that comes from it as an adaptation mechanism, and addressing the problems or concerns that might arise is a form of climate action, and this is how it needs to be treated.
Youths are collecting key messages that will be reflected in the National Action Plan of the KEDMEC here at the country level in Uganda. What are the action points and the future prospects of moving forward for the KEDMEC implementation?
So it is good. We are now gotten to a point where we are moving towards, from the policy frameworks, towards strategizing, having really concrete action plans going forwards. Regionally, there is already agreed plan of action, and Uganda is now the first country that is proceeding to go and doing their individual plan that is based on their individual needs. So we're starting to see, when we go to the UNFCCC conferences of parties, the discussions about climate mobility are becoming more and more prominent, and we need to have steady steps away from just planning towards implementation. And one important part for that is having resources and climate finance made available to the countries directly.
Kale bannange bekikwatako bonna batuyambe tulabike nti tukola ki nti tubeera mu ennungi nga bannansi.
Climate mobility is real. People move to unplanned settlements when they're not ready to move. So we call upon all the policymakers, wherever they are, different stakeholders, the development partners, to ensure that people are in position to move to planned settlements, to ensure that girls and young women are at the forefront of fighting climate change and all its negative impacts.
The youth movement is giving me hope. The actions, the advocacy, the initiatives, the fundraising that is happening gives me hope that we can actually make planned relocation, planned migration, safer routes as adaptation strategies. Place these people, the internally displaced people, the migrants, the girls, the children, the women at the center